This is EXO ONE. From the trailers that I've seen, I get the impression that it's meant to be like just a chill exploration game with an interesting story. It involves flying some kind of skiff around the surface of a planet and exploring, and that's kind of all I know, but it's been getting really good reviews from people whose opinions I respect, and so that makes me want to check it out. I've actually been wanting to check it out since it came out, but I've just had so little time and attention lately, I haven't been able to get to it. But today is the day. We're going to play EXO ONE, and we're going to find out what this game is about. So, let's get into it. We've got a clock on a planet. Okay, please take this warning. If you have epilepsy, this game is going to do things that might be a problem. Oh, I have slipped the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies of electricity. Oh no, I missed the poem quote. Oh. All right. No, I'm not going to hold A to skip this. Radio telescopes have received an extraterrestrial signal containing plans to build a spherical something or other. Sorry, I thought VO was going to come in, but there's no VO. So it looks like I'm reading this. The sole survivor of the Jupiter mission disaster said, the signal is meant for me, and I can get them back. Is that the Jupiter mission? So wait, is this going to be like a flash forward beginning? Are we about to play out what that was a description of, or is that the past of our story? So this craft doesn't use a rocket engine at all? You call it a gravity drive? Correct. When engaged, gravity increases tenfold. When disengaged, gravity becomes moon-like. It's all theoretical at this point, anyway. Feels like they're playing dialogue backwards in the background. I don't know how well you can hear that. Construction still hasn't commenced? I'm going to raise the game volume just slightly so you can hear some of this stuff. What is this? Oh, this is me. Is this me? Okay, hold to drop. Release to fly. Okay, so I hold to drop. And I release to fly. Okay, so I can fly up in the air. Drop. And then I release. Do I want to release at the edge of a hill? So I drop like this, and then I let go. And I fly in the air. I guess I'm trying to time this. I just realized I've played this before. I didn't remember that it was EXO ONE, but I have totally played this mechanic before. In fact, I might have played this on my stream. Okay, so now I will link the other video if I really did play this in my stream before. Okay, so each time I hold the trigger, I get heavier, and it forces me to move down in whatever direction the hill is sloping. And then when I let go, that is no longer happening. And then mid-air, I can use the left stick to move. So the thing I don't want to do is ever be holding it when I'm going uphill in the direction I want to be going. Whoa, I'm like super in the sky now all of a sudden. Did the ground just drop away? Okay, so we can drop now. This is all about just ramping off stuff. Whoa, okay. Wow, they've... Okay, so I hold LT if I want to glide. Ah, wait. Oh, so this is like the flight of the navigator ship. Double jump? Okay, so I can jump twice with A if I need to. But look at that. I can, like, change shape. Oh, wait. I can't anymore. Okay, it looks like I've lost all of my ability. Okay, there. So when it's glowing... Okay, can I hop? Okay, I can jump. And and that can help me get higher, and then I can glide. But then this glow wears out, and then I can't glide anymore. Is it falling that gives me the energy? Is it like, is this almost like potential energy? Ooh, I broke the sound barrier? So I can glide for a while, but then that glow recedes and I can't anymore. And then I've got to, oh, a little too early there. Then I've got to drop down and roll again if I want to get the energy back. Oh, I just picked something up. I don't know what that was, but I sure did get it. Oh, okay. Hit an obstacle. My power level's increased. That's neat. I don't know what my objective is right now. Okay, so when you're down in the middle of a gully, you just kind of have to limp your way up a hill, because there's not a lot that you can do to gain speed if you're down in a gully. Like, if you're on a hill of some kind, you can intensify gravity to drop down and gain some speed and then fly up in the air. And then, once you're flying, you can really lean into it by flattening out like that. This is such a neat little, like, I feel like I could just do this all day. This is such a neat little mechanic. Whoa. And then I can dive with LT and RT at the same time? Okay. Transport monolith distance closed? What does that mean? Dive. Okay, so let's get up into the air again. Let's find a nice downslope to gain some speed. And then fly up into the air, and then dive, but then catch the air again. And then dive and catch the air again. Okay, yeah, so each time I dive, even if I'm in glide mode, that gains me some of this glowing energy. So I can dive and get some energy, skim off the edge like a stone. Ah, I'm picking up so many neat things here that I can do. I love this. So yeah, folks in the chat, like me, are speculating about the objective of this game. Oh, neat. So if I'm going uphill, I can start gliding and gain some altitude. Ah! Oh, I didn't actually. Then gain height. Okay, so if I'm gliding and then I jump, I can gain height, but I can only do that twice. Oh, hey, there's a sky laser. It looks like we've flown to the end of a superhero movie. So yeah, so I'm going to gain some speed by diving. Let's see if we can make it to the other side of this hill before we hit it. Nope. That's fine. Let's get to the sky laser. Oh no! It is so... I can't get over how gorgeous this game is. I don't think they developed the look of this nearly as powerfully when I played it originally. But when I originally played it, I think it did feel pretty unfinished. In fact, you know what? If I remember right, I think my first playthrough was actually marred by the fact that it didn't perform very well on my PC. And I was having trouble streaming it because I just couldn't get any performance out of it. This sky laser is further away than I thought it was. Let's gain some speed. But yeah, so Cog suggests that the objective of this game might be just play a chill game. And I think you might be right. That's really what this is about. Is just, can we come up with a way to navigate that just feels really fun and chill? Kind of like, you know what this reminds me a lot of? This reminds me of the Spider-Man game and what it feels like to just swing around New York City. There we go. Oh, I can see it. How huge is that thing? For it to be that far in the distance and still be able to see it. So let's gain some speed. I like how I skip like a stone off things. Ted Fitzpatrick is comparing this to flying in Children of Light, his daughter's favorite. I don't think... Was that the one by that game company? I'm trying to remember what Children of Light was. All right. Looks like those lines of force are encouraging me to fly up that thing. And notice my energy... Oh, I'm in some kind of wind, and my energy is not going down. Whoa! This is like 2001: A Space Odyssey. Okay, this is trippy. Whatever happens, you come back, okay? I'll miss you every day. So is that some kind of like interstellar travel device that I just shot along? That seems like a really interesting way to handle space travel. Oh, this is Noe. Gnoe? Noe? Let's call it Noe. Noanmai says that this reminds them of Magic Carpet. They used to love just flying around. Approaching high orbit over Jupiter. See you on the other side. Good luck and Godspeed. Okay, so I think we're getting flashbacks of the history of my character and what's motivating them to be doing whatever the heck we're doing right now. But yeah, I like that idea of having like ground-based vehicles that can fly into some kind of... Oh, there's nothing in the design for a cockpit, no internal space for a pilot. How do you fly it? We have to stop thinking in human terms and trust their design. Ooh, am I using alien technology? Anyway, it does more than just fly. Ooh, okay, so when I played the original, it didn't do more than just fly. All it did was fly. So this will be interesting to see what it actually does now. But anyway, the idea of there being ground-based, or like at least planet-based vehicles that are all about sort of skimming a planet's surface or flying, you know, in an atmosphere that then can shoot themselves through something that's ground-based that fires them via, like, FTL to another planet. I don't know, that just has implications for what a society would be like for that to be how it works. Okay, so I was holding the right trigger too much, and I started going uphill, and it slowed me down. So let's try. I feel like we're just gaining altitude here. That we're not seeing nearly enough downslope for me to gain speed. It's a little bit better. Oh, here's a downslope. There, now I can gain some real height. It's some lovely bioluminescence. Oh, wait, what is this? Am I gathering these little bioluminescent fireflies? Do I want to, like, roll through them to collect them? Like, is that a thing I'm doing on purpose, or is that just like, oh, you just have fireflies around you when you're in this world? Okay, yeah, so whenever I fall, I definitely gain this sort of energy. What is this? Is this reminding me of ALTO'S Adventure? That's what the physics of this remind me of. Like, ALTO'S Adventure it's a mobile game that I played a ton of on the bus. And this game has got a lot of that going on. That feeling of just sort of trying to perfectly land on a slope and use it to your advantage to gain as much height as you can. Whoa! Flashbacks of Jupiter. Man, we've all been there. Flashbacks of Jupiter. Okay, so I think let's definitely play through this area Oh, what is this? T minus ground while gliding, stay close to the ground for over 5 seconds. Oh, I didn't even know that was a thing I should aspire to. That's cool. But yeah, the same way in Alto's Adventure that you would, like, notice a little ski jump and be like, ooh, ooh, here's a chance for me to fly up in the air. I'm seeing that, I'm getting that same effect from watching this game. Like, trying to identify, like, okay, here's a little slope that I can get into to gain some more momentum and some more flight. Okay, so it looks like there's a spirally thing. Okay, there's some kind of launchy thing here. But there's also a spirally thing. I think the spirally thing looks more interesting. I'm going to try to get into the spirally thing. I love how everything in this game is much bigger than it initially looks. Like, I'll see it and think, oh, yeah, that's really close and it's small. I'm like, no, no, no. It's actually really far away. All right, so so I'm kind of going the wrong way. What happens if I get into these lines of force and I'm kind of going the wrong way? Will I fail? And do I have to be gliding to take advantage of them? And when am I in them? Like, perspective can be so tough sometimes. Like, do I actually need to follow this path, or could I have just gone to the top? Okay. Whoa! So, I gave up on being able to get to the top of that thing just by following the spiral. I think the spiral doesn't give me enough energy to do that. So I'm gonna need to actually get out of this pit now. Unless, wait, I feel like I've got a little more energy now. Is it coming from the storm? So I think I might need to use that other ramp. There was another ramp around here somewhere. It's hard to see through all these clouds. Somewhere around here there was a ramp, like a sort of like an updraft looking thing. Maybe that's how I'm supposed to get to the top of this spiral. But right now it's so cloudy I can't really see what I'm doing. Okay, there's some kind of structure over there. Ooh, is that? Ooh, that's the thing I'm thinking of right there. That is the updraft looking thing I'm thinking of. Now the question is there anything that's going to prevent me from getting over there? It looks like it might be slightly higher than me. And when you're in a glider, gaining height isn't the easiest thing in the world. Oh, hey, Dan31 made it. Hello, Dan31. Good to see you. All right. So yeah, again, everything looks closer and smaller than it really is when you first see it. Okay, I am a little low, but let's see. Oh, looks like I'm gaining... Oh, okay. Oh, that is quite the updraft. All right. So let's get to the other side of it. And then turn around and try to ride it up to the top of the spiral. I am in the sky. I'm falling a little bit. What I don't have is a lot of forward momentum. So yeah, I'm just going to be... Okay, if I fall into it, will it give me energy? Okay, it looks like it's propelled me up. Oh, and I just realized my camera probably needs to be inverted here. It's the first time I've noticed, which is, you know, unusual. There we go. All right. So again, because I'm bad at scale, I'm not sure how close I am in like 2D space to this thing. Got it. All right. Power levels increased. Glide mode extended. Energy stored. Full containment reached. Flow stabilized. So I guess, does that mean that I, like, can collect more energy? like I can hold more and I can glide for longer. It feels like that's what it's telling me. Let's see if I can get out of this canyon. Just barely. So I just barely detected a little bowl there that I could use. This very flat terrain is going to be bad for me. But these little bowls I could use to launch myself. Let's just see if I can fly far enough to get to one, and then see if I can time my use of it enough. So it feels like my energy levels are lower. Oh, we've got some kind of draft. Yeah, I don't have enough slope here to, like, gain a lot of speed. But if this draft can take me... Whoa, okay. Well, the music is telling me I did something right. There, we're back to feeling good again. It's weird. It was almost like being in an area with totally flat terrain was almost like being becalmed in the middle of the ocean in a ship. You know, as I was just looking around like, how am I going to get any speed? Hey there, Arthur 8. Thanks for joining us. I'm doing good. Oops, I kind of crashed myself into the terrain in a way you're not supposed to. Yeah, I actually took kind of a half day off from work today. There's still some stuff I have to get done for work, especially, you know, as we're coming to the weekend. I actually can't relax on the weekend unless I've actually completed a certain amount of my work. And so I can't just leave things half done. So I'm going to get some work done today, but I'm also going to be relaxing a little bit. And next week, we're actually going to be doing a little event at work where people sort of take some time off their normal objectives and work on things that they're personally really invested in. And so that'll be a nice week, nice sort of, you know, way to keep working and keep being productive, but not necessarily doing it with as strong a sense of obligation, because that can definitely affect your mood after a while. That's, you know, if your entire life is made out of things that you have to do. And so I think it's a pretty clever idea. So I'm looking forward to it. I know exactly what I'm going to be spending my time on next week. So I think this is going to be a good month. You know, between that and like taking a couple weeks off for the holiday break, I'm looking forward to some nice lower stress times. And maybe I'll be able to find more time to actually stream during that period too, since I'll have less or no work to do. Red Earth Cord, I don't think we're that sensitive to bribes. If you try to get us to do what you want with our time. Dan31 suggests that I should spend some of that time on RimWorld. That's always like the big challenge of like being me with my particular gaming habits, is that I want to spend time on my favorite games like RimWorld, but there are so many games out there that I want to try, and I feel like I need to learn something from, like EXO ONE here. You know, EXO ONE is one of several indie games that I've been delaying playing because I wanted to try them on the stream, and I haven't been streaming enough lately, so they've been backing up. Like, I actually have a problematic Steam backlog again for the first time in a really long time. So I'm gonna have to do something about that. Cogs asks if I'm ever going to get the time to work on the internal documentation system at work. Interesting that you're asking about that. That's not usually something people outside the company think about. But that is actually one of the things I'd like to do. I've got another job that's a little bit more urgent that I need to work on first. But if I get time this next week, I would love to sort of update some of the stuff that's going on in our internal wiki. Because, yeah, no, it's really easy for a game, as it gets older and older, for people to just lose track of how it works under the hood. And it's good to document stuff really thoroughly. And if you don't do it at the time, it's a big chore. Like, as you're working on each feature, if you don't do it, there's a big chore to try to do it later. So I'm not sure what that did, but I definitely want to do it twice. Or do I? Ah, whoa. So there were 2 of these, and I can't actually tell. I think the one that's on screen now is the one I just went through. So I'm going to try to go through the other one too. I'm not sure if there's a reason to go through both necessarily. But they both look like they're pointing in roughly the same direction. Like maybe they're just redundant, but I want to go through both of them. So here we go. Got one more jump if I need it to get high enough. There we go. All right, so yeah, let's get to this exit, which, you know, again, is probably further away than it looks. Oh, here we are in Redland. Holy crap, what's going on here? And I'm not sure how they decide how far from the camera to let the vehicle get. Because that got really small. I guess there's a damper on the acceleration of the camera so that if you accelerate a lot, the camera lags and then catches up. Well, I like this sort of like Stargate sequence as a reward. Wish you were with us, Commander. It's amazing. We're officially swimming through Jupiter's atmosphere. Got some serious storm activity now. Visibility low. Okay, so it looks like they're going to be telling this story about a Jupiter mission. Probably an ill-fated Jupiter mission. While I navigate these distant alien worlds. Quirinus 2. Alright, so this is the next planet I'm going to be exploring. But I think that this might actually be a good time to take a break. I've got a lot of games that I want to play, and this is a really fun and chill game. But that means that I feel like we've kind of learned what the essence of this game is about, and so I can probably play a little bit more of this on my own time. And in the meantime, on the stream, go somewhere else. Except, wait a minute. What is that? There's something for me to chase. Hold on a second. I thought I was done, but let's see what this is. This is how you know you got a good game. If, like, somebody's trying to quit, but it's too interesting and they have to keep going. Yeah, I need to know what this guy is. Unless I'm going to be following him for 10 minutes, in which case I'll probably stop. But I was wondering what they were going to add next. Because, you know, like, you've got a simple mechanic like this. And then really the challenge of making a game, once you've got a really good feeling navigation mechanic, is figure out, well, what's interesting to do? What are objectives that are worthwhile? And I think, yeah, trying to chase down an agile enemy seems like a good one. Enemy? Why am I saying enemy? Why? This is not necessarily an enemy. I guess trying to chase down an agile target. Let's say target. An objective. There we go. Enemy. I'm way too steeped in violent video games, thinking everything has to be an enemy. Okay, yeah, it does look like I'll be spending a while chasing this character, so I think we'll leave this as a mystery for the viewer, and pause and quit for right now. So yeah, so next time I come back, it looks like that level is going to get restarted, but that's fine. I only got a short ways into it, and you know what? Playing around in this game is fun. I won't mind replaying the beginning of that level, so... Anyway, yeah, so, wow, this game is really cool. And I think if this is the same game that I remembered playing before, then it's interesting to see, number one, like, how much more, like, performant and stable the game has become over time. And also just, they've found interesting stuff to do with this character, you know, to make it interesting to navigate this world. So, yeah, so it is very reminiscent of ALTO'S Adventure. It's reminiscent of, there was another game I was thinking of. Oh, Flower. You were like, somebody else brought up a That Game Company game. Flower is something this reminds me of a lot, where you're an entity that's sort of skimming above the surface of a world, trying to find the right paths and interact with stuff to make things better. Like this has that same kind of vibe. Though the story that they're telling in the background almost does kind of remind me of some like more horrific games that I played. I'm not sure how bad this things are going to get for the crew of this Jupiter mission as I keep seeing these flashbacks. So I am very curious about where this is going to go. And as I understand it, this game isn't extremely long, so it might not take a long time to get to some satisfying conclusions about what's going on. But in the meantime, I love the vibe of this game, and I want to play more of it. Let's see here. So, let me catch up with the chat before I end the video. Oh, yeah. So Dan31 says, I remember back in the lunchtime stream days, back when I would do streams on my lunch break at the office using office resources. He said that my screen, that you would actually see my desktop. You could see on my screen what other games I had to stream, and my struggle to decide what to stream next. If you could, I don't usually share my desktop right now in case I've got something on it that's private or not yet announced by the company. I avoid showing you my desktop now, but if you could see my desktop, I've got over a dozen icons of games that I haven't tried yet that I'm really really interested in playing. So I am in the middle of that struggle at Dan31. Oh, interesting. Arthur 8 is saying that apparently it was announced today that PlayStation Studios had acquired Valkyrie Entertainment, and is wondering if that could impact State of Decay 2 and 3. So I definitely could not talk about, think like business level stuff like that. I couldn't possibly talk about. I would say, like, Valkyrie has done some amazing work on State of Decay 2, and we're really sort of proud of all the contributions that they made. Really, grateful for that relationship we have with that studio. But we're committed to the game whether or not Valkyrie continues to be the partner that we're working with. So there's a lot of potential futures there, and. So I say don't worry about State of Decay. We're gonna be fine. But yeah, so we're definitely still working right now with Valkyrie on some stuff that they've that we've been working with them on for quite some time. So there's still some Valkyrie goodness ahead for you to enjoy. And I guess that's probably all that I should say. The game is still healthy. This is not going to hurt our ability to continue supporting State of Decay, regardless of what the details are behind the scenes. Hataj asks if I have any older games that I'd like to go back to for nostalgia. Nostalgia's tough because, I think that, games just as a medium, they're progressing really, really quickly. We're learning a lot about what makes a game feel good to play. And we're also, like, the technology that supports it, we're able to do more and more to make a game feel slick and accessible and playable. It's hard to go back to older games and still enjoy them. Because, you can see this in movies, too, that older movies will have a different pacing and a different vibe. I try to show the original Star Wars movies to my kids, and they just can't get into them because they're not paced like a modern blockbuster. And those are actually some of, those movies revolutionized the pacing of movies and actually kind of helped create the modern blockbuster. And so, they were revolutionary at the time. Movies before them had even, different pacing or even harder to go back to. So it's funny that looking back at movies from my young childhood are now kind of unwatchable to my kids because their brains are just accustomed to a different pacing. Video games are on a path like that's even faster. Just games that are 10 years old can be really difficult to play. When I played Stubbs the Zombie recently, it was hard for me to play that game because, it felt like a natural game from the era that it came out in, but it was challenging for me as I'm now a modern player of modern games to get into a game that old. So there's very few games that I think can survive the test of time that way. I used to go back and replay Deus Ex, the original Deus Ex, regularly. I can't anymore. I can't play that game anymore, even though I love it in theory, and it was a formative game for me as a player. I just can't enjoy the UX of the game anymore. Similarly, the original Fallout games were just as formative for me. I can't play the original Fallout games now. The pacing is just off for me, and I can't enjoy them the way that I used to. But there's so many modern games to play that are some of my favorite games that come out now are games that are nostalgic and that evoke sort of the emotional experience of playing those older games, but that do them with a slick modern touch. Like XCOM, for instance, has been really great as a franchise at tapping into what was fun about older turn-based strategy games, tactics games, and but making it slick and new in a way that makes it feel like a thoroughly modern experience. Like it's a challenge to try to balance those two, and you'll always have some people who miss kind of even the more inconvenient aspects of what's older. And so it's hard to find the right balance that works for the most players. But there's a lot of companies out there that are really, really good at doing it. So yeah, I love finding stuff like that. So really, what I like is modern retro games more than I actually like playing the older games that were formative for me and that inspired those others. Games that, by the way, though, that are intentionally the part of the experience is that they are not very slick. Things like RimWorld, I think, might have a longer life because, like, I don't know, like part of the joy is how impenetrable it is. I think that makes a game a little bit more longevity than a game that relies more heavily on the UX being like highly accessible. Oh no, Wanmai just lost their herbalist in State of Decay to a plague bloater. I'm so sorry. Oh, Hotaj is saying that they're currently playing Dungeon Keeper from 1997 because there just isn't anything as good, even the sequel, which have the same charm. Yeah, so that is true. There are some games. I mean, I'm not saying that one in particular. I never actually played Dungeon Keeper when it was new, so I can't evaluate it relative to other games. But yeah, it is still possible for a game to be such a classic that it's hard for modern games to imitate them. And sometimes it's just you can't. There's some cases where you just can't capture the specific magic of a game because so much of what it relied on were the things that modern audiences find off-putting. And so it's hard to do. Sometimes people can find ways to navigate it. Sometimes people can't. It can be really rough. Oh, hey, Dan31 is going to try to mod RimWorld. That's cool. Congratulations. Yeah, like that seems like a really kind of, I don't know, a fun thing to learn how to do. I personally, don't have the technical expertise to get into modding myself. I'm much more of a flighty, wild-eyed creative type. And so I don't think I could ever really be a modder without learning a vastly different skill set from what I am now. So that's cool. I'm excited for you. Oh, interesting. Yeah, so Cogs is suggesting that I should maybe at some point try to go back to Watch Dogs Legion. Yeah, if especially if you're interested in paying channel points for it, I'd be happy to give it another try. I did play around a bunch with it off camera, and sort of did my usual thing with open world games where I just go around and I try to find collectibles all day and I don't engage with the main story. So I wouldn't mind going back to that at some point and just seeing if they've done updates and things over time that have changed the experience or anything like that. It definitely, it's one of the few games that have sort of tried to get into some of the same envelope pushing areas that we have on State of Decay, and so it's useful for me to keep up with what the game's doing. Anyway, okay, I should wrap up this video. I meant to just sort of like answer a couple of questions. I ended up getting off on rants, and so now this video is longer than I intended to be. But whatever, that is EXO ONE. And so I'm planning on playing more of this in the future. And I think it's on Game Pass. So if you've got Game Pass, I'd encourage you to check it out yourself. It's hard to sort of convey in a video how it feels to play with a physics toy like this vehicle, but it is really, really cool. Anyway, so, I'll put a subscribe button up here if that's what you want to do. I'll put links to other games, and you can enjoy those.